I've seen people that become managers and then they become a different person once they get an ounce of power.
What made the difference between you and that other individual?
Dude, I don't know. And I'm not anybody special. There's other people that I know that are the same way.
It's the heart. You can give someone who really wants to make a difference, who has a great heart, the same power and authority, and they will make a difference. And then you give it to someone else that just has different intentions, a different heart.
Now, one thing that I do believe is that if you give anybody power, the consequences for abusing power should be fucking crazy. You should pay because you are being trusted with something. Like, I don't even know how to fucking put that really into words, but this comes down to fucking police because, dude, you almost have all the fucking power in the world. Right. Imagine getting pulled over at night on the side of the road. Yeah. They are fucking God. Nobody knows you're fucking out there except for you and the dude with the fucking gun.
Right.
And if you don't do dude, I've had not this situation, but we had one where I was driving somewhere and this fucking cop just went, like, was just an asshole for no fucking reason. I'm like, dude, I didn't know. Like, chill. But what do I have to do? As a man, what the fuck do I want to do?
Right.
Like, who the fuck are you to talk to me like that? I wasn't doing shit.
Right.
And then what happens? I get the shit beat out of me. They call everybody, and a good guy gets the shit fucking beat out of him.
Right. Yeah.
But is it fair that because he has a badge and a gun, he can talk to me however the fuck he wants? Right. No. You know, when bad things happen, are cops there? No. They show up after the fact, 95% of the time. Unless you're on the SWAT team or drug task force or whatever. But usually people are calling you after shit goes down. So, like, this whole thing, the thing with race too. Because as a Hispanic person, which that hardly comes into my fucking mind, really. Like, I hardly ever think about being Hispanic in America. I'm just like a dude, you know? Like a regular fucking person like everybody else. I don't know if that's the same for everybody else. Maybe their identity, like, first thing is I'm this and then everything else, you know? But if you get pulled over by a fucking asshole and there's no reason for him to be treating you the way he is, what do you think?
Right.
This racist motherfucker.
Right. When he's just an asshole.
And then you get pulled over again. And you get pulled over again.
Yeah.
And it's all these people that are, all they're doing is abusing power, you know? Now, it's not everybody. I've seen tons of videos of incredible interactions with police. Just like cops that are just super cool, you know? But I do feel that something needs to change because people shouldn't feel this way.
Right.
With when police are around.
Right. Yeah. You know, there's this thing regarding firefighters and police officers.
Right.
Firefighters are looked as the heroes.
Right.
They're looked to as the heroes.
And cops used to be.
Yeah. And yeah.
But
I wonder what shifted. Like, really, where did the change? Where did that shift? When did that shift? And why?
I know.
Interesting.
I know. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And people, this is it's
an issue of the heart.
It's tough, man. I wanted to share something real quick before we move on. Let's you don't even know that I was going to share this, but it has to do with what we were just talking about. So this is a little video from the news. Let's check it out.
Miscarriage of justice.
Sober drivers charged with DUIs are reacting in shock to what WSMV4 Investigates has uncovered tonight. Good evening. I'm Lauren Lowry.
I'm Tracy Cornett.
And I'm Marius Payton. As part of our sobering problem investigation, we've analyzed never-before-seen TBI data.
Chief Investigative Reporter Jeremy Finley found more than 600 Tennesseans have been arrested for DUI and were completely sober.
What?
It's something you notice almost immediately.
Good morning.
In the body camera footage of officers approaching Xavier Gray.
Go ahead and turn the car off for me, okay?
His hands are in the air.
First of all, I'm scared of the police.
You got anything to drink tonight?
No, sir. But Gray, like so many other drivers who've spoken with WSMV4 Investigates, wasn't concerned at first.
Well, I'm going to run you through some the field sobriety test just to make sure you're good to drive and everything, okay?
Oh, yeah. I know I'm not under the influence of anything.
And he thought he performed well until this.
Place me on the rest for driving under the influence, okay?
Huh?
I don't even drink or anything. It's great.
I work for a living driving a dump truck. And this is what I do. This is my whole livelihood.
Oh, no.
I was really afraid about losing my license.
Gray is the latest person we found to be charged with a DUI whose blood work would come back showing he was completely sober. For months, we've been emailing back and forth with the TBI, asking for blood work data that shows just how often it's happening in Tennessee.
Wow.
And it turns out we weren't the only ones asking.
I've seen the news stories that you all did.
State Representative Lowell Russell had seen our sobering problems investigations. And after one of his constituents was arrested for a DUI, while he was completely sober, he asked the TBI for the data as well. After months of requests, the TBI finally produced the data. Turns out it wasn't dozens, but more than 600 Tennesseans. Wow. 609 to be exact.
Wow.
Innocent drivers, totally sober, charged with DUI. For perspective, if all of the sober drivers charged with DUI went to the Ryman, they would take up more than half of the seats in the upper balcony. I just wonder what you think about that.
It's a miscarriage of justice. It seems like they're doing it everywhere around Tennessee, man.
Nobody wants drunk drivers on the road, ever. But what does it say that we keep finding sober people being arrested for DUI?
I have heard of those on a very, very limited scale, and those are, of course, tragic for everyone involved.
Tragic cases that lets drivers like Gray know he is hardly alone.
You know what's so scary is just thinking about how hard I work to stay out of trouble, right? And then to have something like this happen.
Jeremy, the implications of this, they're just so widespread. Hundreds of innocent people charged with crimes they didn't even commit.
Yeah, Lauren, we just obtained this data on Friday, so now we're sharing it with prosecutors and lawmakers to try to get their reaction. Representative Russell says he wants the TBI to create a database for all crimes in Tennessee, showing what a person was charged with and whether or not they were convicted. We know sober people charged with DUI often have their mugshots appear online. If this database is created, it at least would be a public record showing what the crimes against them were dismissed. Marius?
Jeremy, you keep pushing on this story. Thank you. Well,
How and why?
So, why?
Right.
Why?
Tennessee?
Oh, no, that could be anywhere, though. That could be anywhere. They were investigating it in Tennessee.
Right.
They're not investigating it in other places. If they investigated in other places, guess what they're going to fucking find?
That's crazy.
Probably similar shit in other places.
Yeah.
Now, how does this even happen? I'll tell you how. The fucking city needs money. So what do? You set up a fucking DUI checkpoint, or you set up a speed trap, or you set up multiple speed traps throughout the fucking city. You post fucking cops up and have them getting people rolling through stop signs or whatever the fuck. What does that do? What does that do for the relationship between the police and the community? That's how it happens. I mean, and at this point, I'm pretty sure that our government relies on that money, right? I mean, you can't be collecting all this money in tickets all this time and then just take it away, right? So what happens when you start making all this money from tickets and you start spending it? Now what do you have to do? You got to go get
out.
more fucking tickets because you need more money so that we can do this again next month and we could do it again next month and next year. Fucking taking the taxpayers' money. One last one.
Just into our newsroom within the past hour or so, we are getting our first chance to see that controversial police takedown of an elderly man, his family claiming excessive force. I want to warn you, this video is kind of tough to look at. Now, we told you last month that an Oklahoma City police officer was put on leave after the 70-year-old man was hospitalized. Within the last hour, police put out two different versions of that incident, one of them being this body camera video that you're looking at. The other is surveillance video from a nearby business. Now, in the body camera, you can hear the man arguing with the officer about the ticket that was being given after a traffic
Might have been a
crash.
bullshit ticket to begin
Then the
with.
man touches that officer's vest and tells him to shut up before the officer takes him down to the ground. Here is part of that exchange.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. The way where your vehicle was located, your vehicle was not like that.
Sit out.
No.
You sit out. Get on the ground. No. Sit. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna call an ambulance.
Okay, what you're looking at here is another view.
What?
It's hard to watch of that takedown. Police said that man lost consciousness when he hit his head on the pavement. The family says that man is still in the hospital nearly 2 weeks after this incident. We're going to be following up with this. We have much more coming up during our 6 o'clock newscast.
That police officer was given power. And that's what he did with his power.
Yeah. And they're not all that way.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Yeah.
But like I said before, I feel that if you're given power, especially like that, the consequences should be more severe because you were trusted with this power.
Yeah.
Like, and the sad thing is that I don't know what happened with this guy. I haven't followed up with any of this stuff. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you can imagine that the cop could get off, technically, because the guy assaulted the cop, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he said, shut up, and tapped him on his vest with his 2 fingers. Mm-hmm. That gives him the right to fucking body slam a 70-year-old guy?
Yeah. No, that's crazy.
You know, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of things that are going to be changing, I guess, or they've talked about maybe changing in the future with our government or but this is one of the other things that needs to be looked at, like, and revamped. You know, so many people have talked about defund the police and this with the police and that with the police. Mm-hmm. Something needs to be done, you know? Yeah. We definitely don't need more fucking people harassing law-abiding citizens. Like, I mean, and it's crazy because in a way you have to, you give them power for a good thing. Allow them to use their judgment in good ways. But dude, when you find a fucking bad cop, you gotta deal with that shit. Cut it out like fucking cancer.
Right. No, there has to be. I mean, I don't know what it takes to be a police officer. I know they don't get paid well.
Dude, they do a fucking psychological evaluation. How did this fucking guy pass that?